Shalom Israel. First phones when you give all praises, all honor, all glory to Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Hashem, Rakakadash, the born the apostles and elders of Great Millstone teaching us his truth, peace and blessings to hopeful like the Israel, and Shalom. Yahweh is the name of the Heavenly Father in Hebrew. Ba'Hashem means the name, Yahweh Shai is the name of the Begotten Son, back with another lesson. And today, ultimately going to be going to what this is going to build up to and lead to if you have the eyes to see and the ears to hear, because you see in the title right here, it says IRS plan to scan your face, prompts anger in Congress, confusion among taxpayers. So they're planning to make it to where you need to scan your face, but we're going to read the article. Haven't really read it yet. Seen a brother going into it, and Spirit jumped on me to jump to it also. But ultimately going to go into what this is building up to with the MOTB. As you see, they're building the foundation for this beast system and getting ready to implement it. As you see already with the certain apps that they're implementing, which they showed in the Super Bowl commercial for the exact app, but you can just scan and pay with your phone the items and just walk out the store to make things so-called easier, the so-called benefits of it. Also Amazon One, which I think they have implemented it, but it's not really out there just yet, where you can just pay with the palm of your hand. Also, you just scan and pay with your phone in certain places. I think it's Apple Pay, I believe. You just tap your phone above the scanner or whatever it is. So you're starting to see the people, Esau is slowly implementing and, conditioning and preparing the people for, the MOTB, Also, where right now you see already with the juice, you need to show proof of verification to go on a plane, to travel, and coming soon is going to be by the way of the MOTB, as scripts go into it. But not to drag a lesson too long, let's jump right into the article, get a few scripts that came to mind, and the ones that find lesson. It said, IRS plan to scan your face, prompts anger in Congress, confusion among taxpayers. It says, starting this summer, you will need to provide a video of your face to access the agency's website. It's a major expansion of the use of facial recognition software by the government. And it's also, a terrible idea. As hackers can, just get photos of you and deep fakes where you can just, basically CGI your face onto a whole different person, man. And that's also how they'll demonize us and use these things against us, man. Let's continue on. The millions of Americans will soon have to scan their faces to access their Internal Revenue Service tax accounts, one of the government's biggest expenses yet to facial recognition software into people's everyday lives. So you won't be able to access your account if you don't, scan your face, send a video to them to where they use it, man. As with the MOTB, you just scan with your right hand, everything about you is going to be, in the MOTB, But it says, but by this summer, anyone wanting to access the records, including details about child tax credits, payment plans, or tax transcripts on the IRS website, will be required to record a video of their face with a computer or smartphone and send to the private contractor ID.me to confirm their identity. So you see, ultimately, the devil is bringing that hammer, the restrictions, to force people's hand. As you see, they're starting to already implement this type of system, a more digitized, system, man. Now you have to be able to access your accounts, pay your taxes, or whatever the case may be. You just send a video of your face, man. And going back to what I was saying earlier, people can just deep fake, put your faces on things and use your own voice against you, So, hey, ultimately going to build up to the MOTB. As you see, all roads lead to the MOTB if you, know what I'm saying. You should know by now already. Can't say certain words, but you should know. But you see, making it to where, let's actually read that one more time, the title. It says, IRS plan to scan your face, prompts anger in Congress, confusion among taxpayers. So once again, if you don't send your face, a video of your face to them, you can't access your accounts. So you see them putting the restrictive holds and ultimately forcing the people's hand and ultimately conditioning and preparing you, man. Because ultimately with the MOTB, everything's going to be by the way of that. To go inside work, just to wave your hand over it. You also have with the motels or hotels, They'll give you a card to, like, when you go outside or whatever, and you're going back in, you need to, scan it, on the doorway to go back in. So you ultimately see the system that they're already starting to implement, and ultimately what they're conditioned to be before. I see Esau already adding more self-checkout aisles in Walmarts, your local supermarkets, and go back to what I was saying earlier, those apps that they're starting to add, But it's clear as day, but what this is ultimately leading up to. You're going to have people saying, oh, you're looking into this too deep. It's for more, security reasons, this and that. Well, no, it's not. I mean, it's obviously working on you. You're blind to this, man. Let's get Revelation 12:12 says, therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them, woe to inhabit the earth and of the sea. For the devil, which is Esau, Edom, the so-called white man of the day, is come down to you, having great wrath, because they know that he hath but a short time. So these devils know they're running out of time, on a short time frame. That's why you see them trying to implement their plans and put them into action. Because there's certain articles, and I forgot the exact thing, but they have plans of action and things that they want to do, for a while now. Now they're starting to put it into action. Now you see them come down with great wrath. Also, the restrictions and the mandates that will come. And also you see this right here. You won't be able to access your accounts, man, if you don't do this. So basically, a force in your hand to do that. Go back to what I was saying earlier with the MOTB. You need to have it to show, because right now with the juice, you need to show proof of verification by the way of a green pass or whatever. When you go on a plane, when you're going to travel, you need to have that. So once they implement the system, it's going to be way so-called easier and more beneficial and simpler, if you just take the MOTB to do things easier, And that's how they're going to get a lot of people, the so-called benefits that you receive from taking it, because everything about you is going to be on it. You don't have to, pull out your wallet anymore to pay cash, because ultimately they're wanting to implement that digital currency, and it's going to be by the way of the MOTB once again. But not to, ramble on too long, but it's Revelation 13:16 through 17. Then he caused all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. And it obviously is a physical mark. Whether you see it or not, Elon Musk, with the mark in the forehead, creating the Neuralink. I believe they're already wanting to implement and, do human trials, human testing, with it. And they already came out with an article showing that monkeys have died from the trials and tests that they have done. So it's clear as day that's it's a physical mark. And that is the the RFID. But you got to be careful with your words, because devils take anything that we say down nowadays. But it says verse 17. And that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark of the name of the beast or the number of his name. So coming soon, you won't be able to buy or sell without it. Now you see right now with the restrictions and mandates that are in place with the juice, you need to have it to go inside theaters, or I believe in New York, before when it was Thanksgiving, Thanksgiving, they set up checkpoints to show if you have taken the juice or you have been tested, to enter. So you're starting to see the restrictions, mandates that are being implemented, and hey, things will progressively get worse, man. But as Micah chapter 2 verse 1 says, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it, because it is in the power of their hand, which is Esau's kingdom, his rulership. Job chapter 9 verse 24, the world is given to the hand of the wicked. And going back to Genesis, the 27th chapter and 39th verse, also the 40th verse, goes into Esau's blessing, which is the fatness of the earth and the sword. And I see they're implementing their plans and putting them into action. This may look, more so-called beneficial for more security reasons, to show that it's you accessing the account. But, this will be, used against you, man. Also forcing your hand and ultimately conditioning you and preparing you for the MOTB to come, As I was saying earlier, more self-checkout aisles with all the apps that they're implementing, where you can just pay with the palm of your hand. Come on, in Sweden, already trying to go digital. I believe they already went digital. They're trying to do it with the paper dollar, as with Russia and China. So you're seeing the paper dollar crashing as we speak. America in trillions and trillions of dollars of debt. and they're using this to their advantage with the this war, this rumor of war that's going on in Ukraine and Russia, to destroy the system to implement a so-called new solution to solve the problem. But 2 Corinthians 2 verse 11 says, "Lest Satan should get invented of us, for we're not ignorant of his devices. We see what he's doing and what he's playing at, man. This devil is a natural born liar." Psalm chapter 55 verse 21. Going to his words of his mouth were smoother than butter. But war was in his heart. Paraphrasing. Also the 48th chapter, and it's like the 58th chapter, and the 3rd verse, going to he's estranged from the womb. So this devil comes out the womb lying, man. A natural born liar. He is not to be trusted, man. But our people will see this, jump at it, send him tons of videos, and trusting in the system, to protect them. And, ultimately, you have Jake just relying on Esau rather than Yahweh Shem Shai, man. But of course, we got to be wise. Still got to go to, go to work, to pay the bills, put food on the grocery, to put groceries on the table. We got to be wise and be smart. We're still in captivity. But, coming soon when the MOTB is implemented and mandated and pushed, because once that is mandated and pushed, you won't be able to do anything without it. You won't be able to go inside stores. We're going to be outcast. We're going to be demonized, called criminals. We're going to be called selfish, But Isaiah 10:1 says, "Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that right grievousness which they have prescribed." Which you already see in these draconian-like laws. Whereas the word draconian goes to harsh. These harsh-like laws that they're implementing. You already see with the juice, and the MASK. Not going to say that word because last time I went to listen to it, they just, took down my whole video. Where you need to have it to enter stores. But now they're starting to loosen the restrictions. Now people are starting to get comfortable. Think that things are finally going back to normal. Well, guess what? Things will only get worse. 1 Thessalonians 5:3, "For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape." So you're not escaping, man. But Isaiah chapter 30, verse 1 through 3. It said, "Woe to the rebellious children," which is talking about Israel, "2/3 of our people, saith the Lord, that take counsel, but not of me, and that cover with a covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin." You have our people running to Esau, putting their faith and trust in him rather than Yahweh Shem Shai, the one is doing all these things, man. Putting the spirit on them to do those things also, But verse 2 said that walked to go into Egypt, and have not asked at my mouth to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh, and to trust in the shadow of Egypt. So you have our people trusting Esau, Edom, joining their hands, along with them. Guess what? You're going to join in that judgment along with them, man. That scripture going to, "All the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness." You're going to be exposed, man. Your true character will be shown in these end times, man. Because you have a lot of Israelites right now that are already cracking under that pressure and taking the juice, man. And this is basically a practice and a trial one for the true test to come, which is that MOTB, man. So if you're already taking it, you pretty much already bent the knee, man. Verse 3 says, "Therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion." So it's going to be your shame and your confusion, man. Because once these devils start kicking down your doors with military troops, robots patrolling the streets, killing people, then you're going to know that the prophets were right, that you were warned, because a lot of people in that day saying, "I wasn't warned, no one told me." What do I do? You were warned, man. Can't say you weren't. Script's going to whereas in the days of Noah. What do you have Noah doing? Warning the people, telling them that rain was coming. There was going to be a flood. What do people do? Take him for a joke. They mocked him. They made fun of him. They didn't take him serious. Just like how you have people today mocking us, calling us names, calling us crazy. But once Noah got on that ark and that the Lord closed that door, what was people doing? Knocking on that door. Hey, I was just playing, man. It was. Are we close? Are we friends? That's why a lot of people are be in these last days, man. Once that spiritual arc on that door closes, you are through, man. You are finished. Because the first death was by the way of water, and the second death is going to be by the way of fire. These thermonuclear missiles, man. But said, "Yet he also is wise, and will bring evil, and will not call back his word, but will rise against the house of the evildoers, and against the help of them that work iniquity. Now the Egyptians are men and not God. They are not the Most High. They're not in control of these things. But the Lord's ultimately using them to do these things and to fulfill prophecy. They're not in control. It's Yahweh Bashim Shai, man. And you have our people fearing, Esau more than the Lord, man. But the Egyptians are men and not God, and the horse fleshes, and their horse is flesh and not spirit. When the Lord shall stretch out his hand, his hand, both he that helpeth shall fall, and he that is hoping shall fall down, and they all shall fall together. So that's pretty much it. Just got a few scripts that came to mind. Saul's brother's lesson going to this right here. So you ultimately see what this is going to lead up to. If you have the eyes to see. 2 Corinthians chapter 2 verse 11. Lest Satan should get advantage, for we're not ignorant of his devices. We see what he's playing at and what he's trying to do, conditioning and preparing the people for this beast system. This great reset that they're trying to do. Because you see the economy, the paper dollar is losing its worth, inflation, prices continue to rise, because guess what? That paper dollar, is not as worthful, or it's losing its worth, for lack of better words. Especially with the sanctions that America has made against Russia, the bans to not take oil from them, imports from them, which can cause a lot of damage to neighboring nations that are in NATO, and that are allied with America, cause a lot of damage to them, and also with Russia. So there's a lot of people not agreeing with Biden and things that he has done. So we're going to see a lot of uproars, riots, protests, and ultimately goes to show this devil's kingdom is coming to an end. But, not to just go on a ramble, but let's close out when we give all praises, all honor, all glory to Yahweh Bashim Ashai, Bashim Krakadash. Double honor to the apostles and those of great millstone, teach us his truth, peace and blessing to hope like Israel, and shalom. See you next one.